Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world right now. We have a very special edition here on our Daily News Online, and we have a very special guest all the way from Bangkok, Thailand, Mr. Nattapat Thanesvorakul from Rice. Sir, good afternoon.
Hi, Brian, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And how about you? It's a pleasure to be having you here on the show, and
Absolutely.
I'm really interested.
I'm really excited to be here and share my experience with you as well, Brian.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, sir. Before anything else, could you share something more about you and company?
For sure. Let's start a little bit about me, right?
Hmm.
My full name, as Brian mentioned, is Nattapat Thanesvorakul, but you can call me my nickname as Gun as well. So right now, I'm the head of strategy and investment at Rice. So Rice, who we are, right? So we are actually a corporate innovation powerhouse. So what we do is actually we help more than 400 corporations, conglomerate, and MNCs, government agencies from all around the region in Southeast Asia to innovate faster, to transform themselves, to become digital champion, right? Right now, right? Rise, we do many things. We also help the corporate to work with world-class startups from all around the world to spin off new products, services that can actually contribute to the main corporate, to the corporate clients, right? And on the other side, we also help many of our corporations in our network to transform the people as well by equipping them with the right mindset, with the right skill set, and provide them the appropriate tool set as well to become corporate innovators, right? So this is some background about our company.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Actually, the first thing that really caught my attention with you is the name.
yeah,
Okay, rice. It's a strong word for me, rice.
yeah.
But can you tell us more about what's behind rice and rethink?
Ah, first of all, rise. What does it mean, right? So
Yeah.
actually, it's just mean up, right? Going up.
Yes. Yes.
So we want. So actually, it's our mission to actually drive the economy of the region, right?
Hmm.
Thailand, Southeast Asia, to actually grow faster through innovation, right? So that's why we came up with this name, right? Because we want to uplift the whole region with
Hmm.
innovation, right? And the other question for you that you asked, right, is the rating. Why do we need to rethink, right? Of
Hmm.
course, because right now we are in the age of disruption, right?
Yes.
Even before COVID, we already in the age of disruption, right? We have new startups coming in. We have AI, blockchain, IoT, robotics startup coming in. It's gonna change the entire way of living, entire way of consume, of thinking, of communication, of everything that we do, right? The things that we do now, we totally different than what we
Yes.
do that what we did in the past 10 years, right? So, and it's going to continue to change, right? And right now with COVID, right?
Hmm.
So it's already changed the way we work, right? Right
Yes.
now we are doing video call, so it's the example of what's going on, right? So and of course, right, it's not the disruption is not only applicable to our corporations or in Thailand, but also in Philippines
Hmm.
and also on our company as well. And what we did very well so far in the past 3 or 4 years that we rethink, right? We help our customer rethink, and
Yes.
we also rethink ourselves. So that's why I think the word rethink is something that represents us. So that's why we always have this event every year called Rise Rethink to share with the world what we are doing right now and how we help our customers transform, right? So this is something that we always do.
All right. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Good. Can you share us more about the model or how the strategies that you're employing?
yeah. So basically, to what we do, right? So to transform the corporations is not an easy thing, right? So if many people think of innovation as something like sprint, right? Just do one or two things, just adopt one or two technology and call it a day, and then you tell the world that you are very innovative, but that's not true, right? So to be a true innovation champion, what you need to do is actually to embark on a transformation journey, right? It's a long-term journey. It's a marathon to transform the entire organization, right? So what we do is actually we came up with this model. We call it corporate innovation maturity model, or SIM, right?
Okay.
It's a model that actually consists of 6 factors.
Mhm.
Uh, um, think of it as a hexagon, right? So
Mhm.
on the left side of the hexagon, think about the people, right? The most important part of innovation, surprisingly, is about people,
Mhm.
right? And the other part is about the tech, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the people part actually consists of first leadership, how the leader sponsor innovation in your company, right?
Yes.
So in the end, because think about it, right? So do you have this experience before where you actually have amazing idea,
Mhm.
amazing plan, and you present to the executive, and they
Mhm.
say, "Hey, Gan, why do we need to risk it? We are already doing well, right?"
Yes.
And then done, right? Nothing gonna happen, right? So that's leadership is very important. On the people, the other thing on the people side is actually on the team, right? The team
Mhm.
who gonna execute it. Do
Mhm.
they have the right skill set? Do they have the right mindset to do it? And lastly, it's about the process, right? So the
Yes.
process of how the leadership, how each different teams work together to co-create innovation. On the technology side, right, it's about the tools that you use in your organization. It's about the data. How do you cultivate data? How do you collect? How do you store? How do you generate value from data? And lastly, it's about ecosystem,
Mhm.
right? Because no matter how good, how effective your organization is, in the end, you cannot do everything.
True.
So
True. True.
sometimes you have to collaborate with some startups that
Yes.
are better than you, that are faster than you in the ecosystem, right? To co-create innovation. So these are the 6 factors model, and that can contribute to the successful complete corporate innovation for every organization.
Very interesting. That's
Yeah,
about it, huh? Okay, so
yeah,
well, another thing is okay. This it's this 1% what do you call this GDP
yeah,
growth? Yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah. So when I read that, I'm also in the government. It's sort of gives me the understanding that you're aiming for the country as a whole. But I think you explained to me earlier, it goes beyond that. Can
It
you
goes
elaborate
beyond
on
that.
that? Yeah, can
Yeah.
you elaborate that?
Yeah, because we want to create tangible result, right? We don't want to just do not tangible projects or PR projects. We want to actually drive tangible outcomes for the country, for the region, right?
Hmm.
And then the way we choose to do it is actually to count the positive GDP impact, right, to the region.
Yeah.
For example, let me give you an example, right? So for our company, right, if we work with this oil and gas company, let's say, and we help this oil and gas company to spin off 5 new internal startups, right? And these 5 startups actually contribute to can generate like 100 million US dollar value per year to the company. We count
Hmm.
that number toward the GDP impact, right? And we
Hmm.
want, and if we want to drive the region, we think 1% is something that we aim for. Right now, we are somewhere between 0.2%, 0.3% of Thailand. But we think bigger, we think more ambitious, we want to go regional, and we want to
Hmm.
drive 1% for the whole region.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And so far you've been well. You told me earlier you've been already spreading to these certain regions, right?
that's right. That's right.
Unfortunately, the Philippines is not yet part of that. Maybe soon.
Very soon,
Maybe
don't worry.
soon. Yeah. So, what are the biggest the regions where you have been successful so far?
Yeah, so let me give you an example, right? Of course, we originally from Thailand, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the
Mhm.
headquarters in Thailand, and more than 50% of the corporate clients that we have are actually based in Bangkok, Thailand.
Mhm.
But we also in the past few years we also successfully entered
Mhm.
Malaysia and
Mhm.
Singapore as well as
Okay.
the next two countries, right? So right now we have the team, we have the country head, we have the some other program managers,
Mhm.
some people in there, right? So right now more than 50% are still in clients are still in Bangkok. The other 20-30% of the clients are in Malaysia and Indonesia, no, Singapore and Malaysia. And
Mhm.
also, we also in the next few months, we are so on the on track to
Mhm.
actually start a new office in Indonesia as well.
Oh.
So yeah, because it's the country where we think is a very good milestone for us because the corporate landscape, right, the majority of the innovation, the mindset, right, the culture are very similar to Thailand somehow. So I think it would be a very good country for us to enter as well as Philippines, right? So
Mhm.
Philippines is something that we are looking and keep evaluating. And, but we hoping that in the next country after Indonesia we will go to Philippines for sure.
Okay, I'll be waiting for you.
Absolutely.
Anyway, just curious because I've been in business in the corporate world for some time right now.
Yeah.
When things like this, like they offer these kinds of services, there are companies who are a bit hesitant. Something like you really need to convince them in ways. Have you ever experienced companies who were well hesitant, who were not adaptable to it, and how did you deal with it?
Yeah, so actually, to help people to change the mindset, right? So first of all, you have to let them experience it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to let them see what the world is doing
Mm-hmm.
compared to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they are doing so well, if they are
Mm-hmm.
growing so fast, like 10%, 30% double digit per year, and they're making a lot of profit,
Yes.
maybe they are not looking for innovate, it's fine, right? But if they are not doing that well, right,
Mm-hmm.
they are losing to the corporate to the competitors, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't and new startups are better than you. Then you
Yeah.
have to start thinking about something new, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about experiencing, we do many things, right? So we have this conference that we call it Corporate Innovation Summit.
Mm-hmm.
We bring in world more senior, more successful CEOs from all around the world, right? From USA, Japan, some from Philippines as well, actually to Thailand, and learn from the best, learn from the best speakers, from the thought leaders in the corporate innovation space. How do they do it, right? What are the challenges that they face and how they overcome it, right? So to learn, to see is something that we really believe in. Sometimes we also do some kind of like what we call immersive trip, which means that we fly the whole management team
Mm-hmm.
to see the advanced ecosystem, right? To Beijing, Shenzhen, Silicon Valley, New York, Boston, to Israel, UK, for them to actually see, right? And to talk with the real guy. So sometimes we believe that the right level that we should talk to first is the leadership, is the C-suite, is the CEO, right? To innovate, sometimes, especially in Asia, you have to start from top down.
Yes.
This is from what we believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah,
those are ambitious goals. I mean, well, the aim is obviously to help companies improve and for sustainability on their end, right?
that's
So
right. That's
yeah.
right.
But right now we're in a situation. I mean, like you said, in Bangkok, it's not that. Well, it's manageable. Okay, the
Yeah, yeah,
pandemic there is manageable. But in
yeah.
like here, the Philippines or even Indonesia, the other country, the region that you're targeting, the COVID numbers are not that good. Now,
Absolutely.
along with that, there are companies shutting down.
Absolutely. That's happened a
Right?
lot.
Yes,
everywhere. Yeah.
yes. And there are companies who are still up, surviving, but
Mm.
some are either don't not open to the idea of shifting to
Yeah.
technology, and the
Yeah.
others
Yeah.
are, well,
Yeah.
open, but there are limitations. How do you deal with those scenarios right now moving
Oh,
forward?
absolutely.
Assuming everything gets better in 2021, we're hoping that everything gets better in 2021 with the vaccines, right?
Yeah.
So how what is your forecast here?
So let me start from this, right? So when we see the corporations according to the COVID impact, we look into three group, right?
Mhm.
So the first group is the group that actually not so much impact from COVID at all,
Mhm.
right? Think about healthcare business.
Yeah,
Think
yeah.
about the tech company, right? You still use Zoom, you still use Microsoft, you can use a lot of service online, right? And some other stuff like food, those things you still need to use it. Utility, you still need to use it.
Yes.
Those companies is fine.
Mhm.
Let them go, right? They if they don't want to know innovate, it's fine. They're doing so well. Then we won't bother.
Mhm.
The other two group, right? Let me start from the other extreme, right? The
Okay.
people who are really like impact from COVID,
Mhm.
right? So think about retail store,
Mhm.
right? People cannot go to a physical store anymore. People cannot sit in a restaurant anymore.
Mhm.
People cannot travel by the plane. People cannot travel, so they cannot stay in the hotel,
Yes.
right? Those people are extremely impacted by COVID.
Mhm.
These people, right? If you will be surprised that actually this group they are really interested in the digital transformation,
Mhm.
in the corporate transformation and innovation.
Mhm.
Because if they don't do it, they're gonna die
True.
for
True.
sure, for sure, right? So this group is at first we also worry. Oh, actually, people gonna stop spending on innovation or not, and are they gonna looking for new things? But actually, they do,
Mhm.
right? If they want to survive, they have to do it. And actually, COVID accelerated that need. The other group that I haven't mentioned is the group in the middle, right? It's got some sort of impact, but they don't have the immediate need
Mhm.
to innovate yet, which is totally fine as well. So right now, the way that we do, we focus on the group that really need to innovate right now. People who really need to survive right now. People who really need to find the next S curve, right?
Mhm.
If you're doing hotel right now, you need something else to do.
Mhm.
You need a new business, right? So we focus on those people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, as we were speaking of technology, a lot of people are doing the business online. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's also applicable to there in Thailand.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because in the end, right, innovation is not about format. You can do it online. You can do it
Yes.
offline. The
Yes.
essence of innovation is not about you doing well.
Yeah.
The essence of innovation is about the mindset. It's about the skill set. It's about the tool set that you use to innovate, right?
Mhm.
To have the tangible outcome. You can create new business anywhere in the world. You can sit in three different apartments and do this new service together. It's totally fine,
Mhm.
right? So it doesn't really impact our business in that sense. Yeah,
I see. Okay. So,
yeah,
well, let's look at the based on the groups that you gave me.
yeah.
Is there any way to see the signs of, well, imminent danger, or if there's something like in danger of closing down or
Oh,
losing?
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, this year, I think people are still in shock, right? In the first 2 months,
Yes.
people are in shock and they don't know what to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? They used to have like millions of people on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
If you are airline, right? You have millions of people using you every day. Right now, nobody using you at
Mm-hmm.
all. Right? People are in shock and they don't know what to do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So next year is gonna be the year of change,
Mm-hmm.
right? So people who can transform, they will survive. People who cannot transform, they will die,
Mm-hmm.
right? Basically, but um, but the most important thing that people should look at is actually the cash flow
Yeah.
for me, right? So the people, because right now, right? We work with so many corporations. The one who have so much cash reserve, they are in very good position because they can acquire assets. They can acquire the other weaker
Mm-hmm.
companies
Mm-hmm.
and make better position for themselves. These are the group that you don't have to worry about at all,
Yeah.
right? But the people who don't have the a lot of cash, what they need to do is actually right now is to focus on the short-term cash flow. They have to sacrifice profit. They
Mm-hmm.
have to drive more revenue instead, and reserve cash to for longer term crisis. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if the trade war is going to happen next, or
Mm-hmm.
we still going to have COVID for the next 5 years. We don't know, right? So these companies have to prepare
Mm-hmm.
and find the right business, find the
Yes.
optimization point of that business, right? In the age of disruption, age of pandemic. If not, they're gonna die.
Yeah, true. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
Okay, let me give you a scenario. For
yeah,
example, I'm a wealthy investor.
yeah.
Okay, I was able to save money. If I were to make an investment, would it be wise to invest on a business that's falling and, well, pick it up? Something like assume the ownership. Would it be wise?
It depends on what you need, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, right now, for the bank, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to see the cyclicality of the business.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to take your own risks, because in the end, let's say if you are a bank, right now you cannot lend to anyone because
Yes.
everyone defaults, right?
Mm-hmm.
Majority default.
Mm-hmm.
But when the economy pick up, it's gonna be okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you can lend again, right? So can you wait until then? Do you have enough fund to wait until then?
Mm-hmm.
If you can, you definitely should, because right now is the cheapest time to
Mm-hmm.
invest in the bank, right? And let's say go back to the point about the hospitality business, the hotel, the
Yes.
airline, the
Mm-hmm.
the tourism startups. Those companies right now in
Mm-hmm.
Thailand, everyone know Thailand is the hub of tourism. It's the
Mm-hmm.
one of the best destination in the world to travel to, right? If you invest now, you may have to wait like 5 years or 3 years until people start to confident to travel again. Can you wait until then? Can you keep support your startup until then? If you can, you should, because right now again the price is gonna be cheapest than ever to invest in. So it totally depends. We know a lot of corporations right now who is buying a lot of lands, buying a lot of business, we buying a lot of hotels to
Mm-hmm.
new startups, asset, right? So they can do it because they have a lot of cash to spend on, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think those are my takes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me give you a scenario here because this is what
Yeah.
I foresee will happen. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm seeing actually I'm seeing some of my friends doing it already.
Yeah.
Car sales.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I'm sure there. Like, well, we have something in common. We have the traffic problem.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So here, so in the car sales, at this stage, the number of people who would buy a new car is, I'm sure, is not that high. Would
No.
you? No, right?
No.
Now, being, for example, I'm a retailer. Well, I'm a car dealer. I would come up with something like a market strategy, like here. I don't know if it's done there. Like they offer no down payment, but you're
Yeah.
tied. You have to pay the monthly.
Mm.
Do you think it would be something that they would be wise for the car dealer? And I mean, let's face it, like what we said earlier, there are a lot of people unemployed, but they would love to have a new car with no down payment. It's very tempting. But once you start paying it the monthly, there are people who cannot pay. So
Yeah.
there's a risk. There's a risk there, right? There's a risk.
Yeah.
Would it be a wise move in this kind of business?
Well, I mean, so it's it's a, I think the way they do it is a way to increase the demand.
Yeah, yeah.
To decrease the down payment and everything, right?
Hmm.
But in the end, you have to look into the long term view of the car market, right?
Hmm.
So in the future, let's say, so it totally depends. Let's say in Philippines,
Hmm.
if the urbanization rate is higher,
Hmm.
and there's going to be some public transportation,
Yes.
and and maybe or maybe you expect that, oh, there's going to be COVID for the next few years, then and and maybe it's not the right thing to actually double down in this business, right? Because in the end, if you reduce the down payment requirement, and a lot of people buy the car from you as a substantial discount,
Hmm.
and many people default and they have to return the car, then there's gonna be some kind of loss happen to you anyway. So it's depend on the whether this is a short term game or it's a long term game for the player, right?
Yeah.
If they're thinking, oh, this should be a short term thing, we're not gonna do this in the long run. When the
Hmm.
COVID disappear, they're gonna do something else, or they're gonna come back to the normal sales situation. Then it's totally fine. And
True.
yeah, okay, but right now, but I would say if you are new entry player, right? You coming into the car market, I wouldn't suggest anyone to come in at all.
Yeah.
Right? To look into something else, right? Maybe they should look into something like maybe the sanitary business, right? To clean
Hmm.
the car, to kill the germs
Yes.
in the car.
Yes.
Right? There's
Yes.
something, or maybe some kind of like a new service that actually can help people from point A to point B with a safer,
Hmm.
healthier
Hmm.
version of Grab, or I don't know, right? So this kind of thing, I think should be more longer game, right?
So it's something like related to what their line of business is. Just looking beyond it forces them to
Looking
think.
beyond, always looking beyond, right? So
Yeah.
you can survive now by reduce the down payment requirement, but what about the long run, right?
Yes.
Where is the long run business, right? And the profitability, right? So if you cannot answer those questions, I suggest maybe start looking for something suitable for
Mm.
the situation. Yeah,
Well.
but definitely for the consumer, right? Let's say if you still have a consistent income,
Hmm.
then why not, right? You buy a
Yeah.
car and
Yeah.
you it's a safer mode of the transportation, right? You don't have to mix yourself with the other people in the subway.
Yeah.
So it's fine. Yeah.
Mm. Well, it's a pretty tough question because not all people are well off right now.
Yeah,
Right?
that's right. That's right. That's right.
A lot of people lost their jobs. I mean, and they're finding
Yeah,
ways to earn. So I don't think. And besides, like here in yours is different. Here, people are prohibited from going out. Well, some people are
yeah.
still, but I don't think it's the time to buy a new car. Well, I don't know. Well, you talked about those scenarios that the company can do. I'm just curious, were there any of your clients or potential clients who reached out to you for help during this pandemic?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
So we have a lot of companies who struggle in this situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me give you some example.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a company that actually do the retail,
Okay.
very big department store chain in Thailand, very big, one of the top two,
Uh-huh.
right? And right now, number of people going down quite a lot,
Okay.
right? And no tourism at all because largely the large proportion of demand actually from overseas, from people who come here to travel, and
Mm-hmm.
they want to immerse themselves with a shopping experience that only Thailand can offer, and with this part of income gone, so they're looking for something else to do. So we help them doing some omni-channel strategy, right? How to merge the online, offline experience and drive the income, drive the demand, drive the order numbers, right? So this is So we have a lot of corporate like this looking for new things, right? And another company is oil and gas company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right now, not so many people drive anymore,
Yeah.
and like you say, right? And not so many airplane
Yeah.
actually operating right now, and that's why the demand for oil and gas disappear quite a lot. So how do we help them transform? How do we help them find a new source of revenue, right? So we came up with a lot of new ideas. EV, or we help them monetize, commercialize the asset that they have, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they have a lot of gas station. How do we help them generate more value from gas station other than just being a gas station, right? So we have many ideas
Yes.
and help them co-create something new.
Yeah. True.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah. Those. Well,
yeah,
I'm sure there are a lot of people asking for help. I mean, advice
absolutely.
from you. But were there any instances where there are clients who are really in the extremes? I mean, like it's going to be very tough for them to get up, survive. Did you ever encounter any of your clients or any from that end?
Well, of course. I mean, a lot of companies have different level of challenge, right?
Hmm.
I mean, so some company are in deep distress. So we have an airline that are in actually in a very deep distress as well. But I'm not sure if we can share more details. But it's
That's okay. No, no,
so
don't
obvious,
worry.
so obvious who they are. So
Yeah. No, don't,
uh,
don't.
yeah,
we might,
yeah.
we might get into trouble. Okay.
So yeah, but definitely, Brian. So people have different problems, and but we are here to
Mm.
help, and we are not here to judge who are more serious and not, right? So yeah,
See.
yeah,
Well, speaking of which, how's Rice? I mean, how is your company manage through this pandemic? These hard times.
absolutely. Firstly, right? So they should the cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful about cash flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that they have sufficient for a few months of no
Mm-hmm.
revenue in the worst case, right?
Mm-hmm.
So balance the income and the expenses. So
Mm-hmm.
the company that actually first of all they have to optimize the resource that they have. So don't over invest, but keep the team lean
Mm-hmm.
and optimal, right? Effective, right? Reskill people, upskill people to increase the efficiency, right? The third recommendation for me is to keep looking for the S curve always, right? If you have to diversify your business, you have to find new business, right? This situation can happen, right? I mean, all the
Yes.
time. Even with no COVID, you still have the other problem. You still have trade war.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You still have the political problem, right? You still have protests in Bangkok. You still have a lot of things. The air pollution in Bangkok. You still have a lot of problem anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You have to identify and yeah, be ready for this kind of risk.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well. Yeah. Those are things.
yeah,
Now,
yeah,
well, since what we're doing right now is a form of one of the solutions that everybody's doing. I mean,
yeah.
either doing it for communication, for business. Has your eyes adapted to it? How have you made the most out of the technology tools we have right now?
Mm. So like I mentioned, right? So actually, so the essence of our service is still the same. So
Mm-hmm.
we can still service our customer the same with the product and service. We just change the format,
Mm-hmm.
right? We just change the format to be something more hybrid, to be
Okay.
something online, to be suitable for the policy, for the healthiness of the for the health of our customers, of course, right? But on the other hand, we also actually adjust the product and services a little bit because in the end the need changes
Mm-hmm.
because right now the world is more connected than ever
Yes.
and the people skill are different so we kind of focus more on how to upskill how to help the existing employees of the corporate, because right now nobody can hire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody want to hire more.
True.
They want to keep the headcount stable.
Mm-hmm.
And then what they do is actually they reskill, they upskill the existing business, the people to become something else, to be something more versatile, something more innovative, right? So we help them toward that. This is something that everyone is looking at right now. Yeah, but in the end, the essence is still the same.
Mm-hmm.
You can do online via Zoom, via Google Hangout, or you can meet
Mm-hmm.
face to face. Big event is the same for us. Yeah, yeah.
Would you say it made life easier for you? I mean, like you said, we're all more connected right now. Has it been easier
Uh,
for you? Because you don't have to travel anymore.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, everything have good and bad in itself, right? So online channel, of course, reduce the travel time, increase the efficiency, right?
Mm-hmm.
People can just ping each other anytime, but in the end, sometimes, of course, you will need some offline touch, right? So you need to see it, you need to work together, you have to sit together sometimes to actually to make it faster and also feel it, right? So those kind of things are still something we miss, but overall it's just a part. We just have to go with the flow and we leverage the good thing about the online format. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, what would you be your best advice to companies who are still not totally sold into technology like what we're doing right now? What is your best advice that you can give them?
Well, in the end, I mean, if you don't, I mean, because in the end, right, no matter how good, how strong your business is, in the end, there's gonna be someone, some new players, some new
Mm-hmm.
startup coming in, always.
True.
And the only way to keep being a leader is actually to innovate, to come up with new things, to
Mm-hmm.
improve your service, to improve your product, to generate more revenue, to reduce your costs. In the end, the only advantage that you can have in long run is to keep innovating, right?
Yes.
And the way we normally do, as I mentioned, is actually to let them see it, right? To
True.
let them see what people doing, right? What are the world leader doing in Silicon Valley, in New York, in Boston, in Beijing, in
Mm-hmm.
Shanghai, right? In Japan, Tokyo, how they do it. In Australia, they are doing so much better than you. Why
Mm-hmm.
you so comfortable, right? What if tomorrow somebody new come in and do better than you, and you got nothing, right? So the best time to innovate is when you are still doing well, because when you are in distress, it's too late already, right?
Yes.
You are in the other people drive faster than you, and
Mm-hmm.
now you want to fix your engine on the fly. It's
Yes.
gonna be too late, right? But if you are in the lead, you still have some time to actually fix your engine on the fly, and
True.
nobody can catch up with you. So yeah, it's your choice, right? I mean, in the end, if the corporation they don't do it, then don't do it. But normally, what we face is that they come back the next year, next 3 years, they come back always.
That's true.
there, there is no runaway from corporate innovation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it has to be continuous change. Like you say,
yeah.
rise, rethink, right?
Always rethink.
Yeah.
Keep rethinking is something a ritual for us, and it's a culture for us in DNA. And we want our corporate, our corporations network to do the same. Right? We want the region to grow together, to success together.
Yeah.
From
Now,
yeah.
well, now I understand the rise and rethink. The one I asked you earlier on. Now I understand it. Because I
That's
really
nice.
thinking about it earlier. What does
Yeah.
this mean? Now I have a better understanding. Anyway, I think
Absolutely.
maybe gun for the last question. I came across your site. I was browsing it last night. Can you tell me more about this CX venture?
Yeah.
I'm a bit intrigued by it.
So CX Venture is actually a VC fund that is actually owned by Dr. Kit, who is
Mm-hmm.
our CEO of Rise.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So CX is a Delaware-based
Mm-hmm.
VC fund that actually focus on investing in deep technologies only, deep tech, right? So no more blockchain. I mean, no more platforms, e-commerce or Grab. I mean, we only invest in the deep technologies only, right? AI, blockchain, health tech, biotech, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something that difficult to imitate,
Mm-hmm.
something that cannot copy in one day, one night, something that can help our corporate partner to create long-term competitive advantages. We only invest in those startups only,
Mm-hmm.
right? So right now, right? So we invest in 6 companies so far. We just started last year actually, not
Mm-hmm.
so long ago. Yep.
I see. Well, I'm sure it's going to be another success. You were able to do it when you established Rice in 2016, right? And you seem to be doing good up to now.
We are doing quite well actually.
Mm-hmm.
We're growing fast,
Mm-hmm.
profitable, and we keep expanding to new countries. Our corporate partner are happy, so that's what we really care about. The
Mm-hmm.
fund is something that we that came up because we find a need, right? Because in the end, our corporations, they're looking for alternative investment vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
They are tired of stock exchange. They are
Yes.
tired of some bond or debt instrument. They want to try something new, something exciting,
Yes.
but not only provide financial return, but also strategic return, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not only because once they invest in, not only they get the return, they also get to work with the startup themselves,
Yeah.
right? So this is something that we keep advocating, and very good feedback from our investors so far. Mm.
I see. So you're really, really very busy, considering this.
Uh,
I don't
I
know.
can tell you, I don't have a lot of Saturday and Sundays.
Okay, I can tell. I know the feeling. Okay, so that's well, it's very informative. I learned a lot from you today. Not only from Rice, only also from you.
I'm more than happy to. I'm more than happy to. That's something that I'm here for. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, strategy and investment that's not an easy that's not an easy job. Okay. Well, hopefully when everything gets better, we can meet up in person. If ever, if it's either I go there or you come here. But
I
I
look
would
forward to.
but
I
I
look
would love
forward.
to go back there because the last time was only 3 days. I wanted to stay longer. Anyway.
Thailand is something you can travel from the north to the south, like
Mm-hmm.
beach, mountain, the cities, shopping, nightlife. A lot of things are amazing, and I advocate it for my country. And you can stay here for a week or 1 month without actually get bored. Yeah,
Yeah.
and actually I feel the same for Philippines, right? So
Mm-hmm.
nice place for the sea, the beaches, and diving.
Yes.
So yeah, I hope to do the same
Yeah.
in
One
Philippines.
one thing I wasn't able to check out there was the night market. I've heard so much about it.
Well, yeah, it's very nice and cheap and a lot of stuff to look forward to. You can bring your wife, right?
Yep. Well, I'm sure. Oh no, I'm going to lose money if I bring her.
Well,
Anyway,
happy wife, happy life.
okay. Unhappy husband.
Maybe not.
Anyway, thank you
Yeah,
so much, Gun, for this
thank
very
you.
informative interview. Before we end this, I'd like to give you the floor. I mean, maybe you can invite them or give a shout out, or if you want to greet anybody before we wrap it up.
Yeah, so actually, I just want to say that in COVID time, it's difficult, and not just in Thailand, but it's in Philippines and everywhere in the world as well. So hang on tight and keep innovating, looking for new things, keep your cash flow stable. So that will be all, and stay safe, everyone.
All
Anything you
right.
can reach out to me. Yeah,
I will definitely.
yeah.
All right, thank you, Gun. That was a
Okay.
very informative interview. I learned a lot from you. I learned a lot from Rice. I think our viewers will have a better understanding of what your goal is, and I'm really well. I'm all for it. I mean, all companies need that right now. Need that all that they can get.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you as well, Brian.
All right. So, thank you everybody, and hope you enjoyed the show. And catch us next time.